new challengers for Karrion Kross, and a hell of a main event.
What up, Mox?
Guys, NXT, you know what time it is. Our NXT review. The show just finished up. Let's get right into it. The first match of the night was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Leon Ruff versus Isiah Swerve Scott. And these guys went all out in this match. Now, it's tough for them because they have a Falls Count Anywhere, and in the main event, the tag team match is a street fight. So it's kind of like similar matches, so they can't do a ton compared to like the main event. So they started off hot, though. They did a good job. These two guys work well with each other. I did enjoy the spots that they did in this match, and Leon Ruff's like aggressiveness and new kind of aggressiveness. So he's taking a little bit more seriously, because obviously you look at him, you don't take him too seriously, but in this mode he's taking some more seriously. He looked like he was gonna get the win here. Then he was gonna go for the big spot off the top of like a scat little perch that's there, and when he jumped off, AJ Francis, the man from WWE Hidden Treasures on A&E, awesome show, check it out. He's the guy on the show, and now he's here. He's with Isiah Swerve Scott and his crew, and he helps Isiah Swerve Scott get the win here. Really, shit cans Leon Ruff on that barricade, just drops him, boom, and then Swerve will bring him into the ring and pin him after pinning his finisher on him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a good, really good match to start off the show, and we'll see where it goes from here. Isiah Swerve Scott got his crew of people. AJ Francis is there. He's obviously got some notoriety from being on the A&E show, so I mean, it's good stuff to start off the show.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to WWE for pushing the Hidden Treasure show and putting that guy right on as soon as that show comes out. So good on them. Great match. Start the show. I mean, hot way to start the show. Definitely got me hyped. And shout out to Ruff, man. He keeps showing up. He's like the weirdest little guy, but he puts up matches. He's been North American champion, so he's like legit. He's like one of the I'm not saying a top guy, but he's a star on NXT. So
he's a solid mid card guy,
very solid mid card guy. He's entertaining. He's fun. I mean, I kind of like him more than I like Swerve Scott, to tell you the truth. I just feel like he comes off more like just fun, and I like it. Everything he does, it's just pretty entertaining.
Now, Swerve Scott, I think he's good as a nasty heel. A really nasty heel. Now, his size kind of holds him back a little bit from being like that kind of nasty heel. But if he's got a crew with him, I think that might help him out and get him a better chance of moving up the card.
And he has to keep his grill in his mouth. He can't just drop it on the floor and then put it back in his mouth.
That is true. Yeah, he can't really do that stuff. All right, so next thing on the show was Cameron Grimes versus Asher Hale. All right, so the match was who nursing together, whatever. So he's taking on Asher Hale. He beats him, whatever. Nothing much to talk about here. Afterwards, he's celebrating. He's gonna go to the club. Cameron Grimes, because he's rolling in the money. He comes up. He's in the backstage. He runs into Everrise, who now Everrise is the type of comedy act now, and they're trying to group up with him and kind of do a crew. And he's like, no, he's not doing it. He's all about me, myself, and Cameron Grimes. He goes to the club, shows up there. They won't let him in. Here comes a limo with a big dollar sign on the front, on the hood. Gets out. Ted Dibiase says, why buy, word of advice, why buy just the booth when you could buy the whole building? And laughs in his face and leaves. And obviously he gets mad at Ted Dibiase once again.
Kidding me? Let's go! You ain't hear me? Learn a lesson, kid. Don't just rent a booth.
Once again, Ted Dibiase, upends him once again. So I really enjoy Cameron Grimes in this character. I really enjoy the whole playoff of Ted Dibiase, and the fact that they bring Ted Dibiase in. It's a fun little thing they continue to do, but I want to see what the payoff might actually be in the end. But Cameron Grimes way better like this than he was as his previous character.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what his previous character was. He was like an annoying swap guy. It was ridiculous. This is way better. I love the GameStop Dogecoin money stuff. Awesome. You got the $1 Million Man, the original $1 Million Man. He's probably the $1 billion man at this point. It's been 30 years. So, he's probably made more money. But definitely, I think he should manage Cameron Grimes. They have to, build that up and create something with that. You can't just have little flashes here. Just, that's like a one-time thing. This needs to be a thing where we can grow Cameron Grimes. Because Ted DiBiase was the man. I mean, he was an amazing heel, one of the best heels of all time. So it'd be awesome to see, them together.
It would, like in a managerial role, I think it'd be good to get Ted DiBiase back in the fold. It'd be good stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, so it'd be a lot of fun to have that. Next thing to show was the grizzled young veterans taking on Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. They're obviously heated about last week with the whole shoe incident. He hit, Ciampa took off his shoe and hit him over the head with it. So they have this very, very solid tag team match. You already know what you're gonna get out of these two, right? Two teams, very physical. very snug, very stiff match, and that's exactly what you got out of it. In the end, they grab another shoe. I think it was Wade Barrett's shoe, and they hit over the head. Hit him over the head, and then they get the win. Thatcher and Ciampa. It's interesting though how they're willing to cheat like more often or quicker than the Grizzly Young Veterans. And the Grizzly Young Veterans are the heels, but I guess they're just like such a nasty tag team, a rough and tumble tag team. Willing to do whatever it takes. Yeah.
I know, but I feel like they should. That's a corny way for this tag team to cheat because they're such like just grapplers and like these like hard hitting dudes. I think they should cheat more in like a more violent way than just taking off their shoe and stuff like that. So I don't know. I didn't really enjoy that part, but this is going to go into a feud. There's going to be bigger matches later down the road.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. Next thing on the show. Karrion Kross. But before Karrion Kross, you have the way Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano trying to find Mr. Regal. They walk in. He's talking to Scarlett. Little ha-ha spot here with Austin Theory and Scarlett.
They're so big.
Yeah, that creates the match for next week, Karrion Kross versus Austin Theory. Then we have Karrion Kross in the ring. The whole pomp and circumstance with the Karrion Kross entrance. He comes out. He cuts a much better promo than he did the first time.
Yeah,
NXT.
So much better.
Yeah, remember when NXT debuted on Tuesday nights? He cut a promo and it was just so scripted and bad. This one was a little bit more organic. Came off a little bit better than the last one. So you have him interrupted by Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle O'Reilly comes out with this stupid fedora and just some jeans and like a flannel. It's just not a good look to kind of go up with Karrion Kross, right? Because the appearance of Karrion Kross and he comes out dressed like that makes him look like a goof. But whatever. Then Pete Dunne comes in. He obviously wants a title shot. Then Finn Balor, the returning Finn Balor, we haven't seen since he lost to Stand and Deliver. He comes out, goes straight at the champ, gets knocked out by the champ. A brawl ensues. We're all kind of going.
Once you're done with Theory. And Balor stepping up to the champ.
We'll all kind of go all over the place. Then you have the Gargano and Theory attacking Karrion Kross from behind. Karrion Kross fights both of them off for the most part, but in the end they get the best of him. So there's a lot of guys. I mean, Gargano could even go for that title as well and try to go become a double champ. But this is around like 5 guys right there, or 4 guys, I'm sorry, that have a solid shot at taking on Karrion Kross for the championship in the very near future. So I thought it was a solid segment. It's just a way to kind of throw everybody in there and kind of throw all the challengers for Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was you're left thinking who's the main guy now. It felt like Finn was more the guy, but then here comes Johnny Gargano, and like there's a lot of guys in play. I'm not sure what they're gonna do going forward. If they're gonna have a battle royal or a tournament to get the number one contender, we'll see, or who's the guy that comes to the Ashes and is going to be the number one contender like out of this whole thing. So it's definitely interesting. I like it. So there's so many good top guys right now in NXT. This roster is just so much fun, and you can get really behind it. And the storylines are so good. And shout out to Karrion Kross. He's not the greatest promo. We're not going to say that, but he's definitely like when he comes off more natural and just more himself. It's a decent to good promo.
I think he's a good promo if they just let him take off the reins and just let him be him. I think he can be. I think he's a good promo.
He's not a great promo, but I feel like a good promo for sure.
It depends. It's situational how his character is based off of. So if he goes off that, I think he would be very solid promo wise. Next thing on the show was Sarray versus Zeta Ramier. Both of them they're building as like new stars in the division. Obviously, Sarray came in with a lot of fanfare. Ramier came in last week, and she took on Toni Storm. Beat Toni Storm with a surprise win. So they put these two together. Sarray gets the win. That's it. Afterwards, they would kind of shake hands in the backstage, and Toni Storm would try to attack Ramier on the ground. Here comes Zoe Stark, stops it. So Zoe Stark and Toni Storm continue their feud. They'll take on each other eventually soon in a bigger feud. But it was a solid match between the two, and they're just trying to build new stars for that reset of the women's division and try to build new people. So it's solid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that women's division on NXT is so damn deep. Just they're adding more and more depth to it, so it's definitely good. That was a good match. This Ramier girl, she came in with not too much hype last week, and she shocked the world by beating Toni Storm, and she comes in and has a good match this week. So again, quietly building more stars. Good NXT, man. Triple H and the crew does a really good job, man.
Yeah. So the next thing here was my boy LA Knight. He's taking on Jake Atlas, right? Okay. It's just like a competitive squash match. LA Knight wins. All right, so I'm a LA Knight guy. I like Eli Drake.
Sure.
I think he's a very, very talented, charismatic guy. He's already got that Car Shield commercial. If you've seen it, Ric Flair, he's there. So he's already got that going for him. But he gives off the EC3 NXT vibes. I don't think he's made for NXT. I think if he's more of a main roster guy, if his everything's not scripted for him, and his personality kind of gets taken away by the main roster. That's what I think.
Well, it will though.
Yeah, it will. I think guys like LA Knight, Karrion Kross, those are main roster guys. They just don't really fit the mold of NXT. I just think they're more what's the way to put it? Can't really think of the word to say, but probably more. They got more of a
sports entertainers.
More sports entertainers. They got more of a grandiose feel to them rather than a kind of rugged, more mat-based kind of like wrestler feel. They got more of the sports entertainer feel. Exactly, that's probably the right word for it. Yeah. They have the more sports entertainer feel to them. Mm-hmm. So that's what I get from LA Knight. But hopefully that eventually does happen. He goes to the main roster and has a solid run there on the main roster.
Yeah, he'd definitely just be called LA or Knight on the main roster. But yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about. But the thing is, he's a promo guy. He's more promo than he is in-ring work. And the main roster doesn't let you be, yourself, turns up. So I'm not really sure if he's ever going to work. I think if he's going to work anywhere, it has to be NXT, because I just don't feel like he's like the guy to go run up in the I could be wrong, but just they don't let anybody do their own promos, and they don't let them feel natural, so they're going to get scripted, and I feel like he's just going to be like a joke spot, like more jokey things on the main roster. So I don't know if this is the place for him. I don't know if WWE is the place for him. I think, like I said earlier, it's either NXT or bust, I think.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I know Triple H is high on LA Knight, so we'll see what happens with LA Knight going forward and how his NXT run turns out, how long he stays there, and if he goes to the main roster. Next thing on the show, Kushida challenging Santos Escobar for next week for that Cruiserweight Championship. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match. It should be a barn burner of a match next week. Also, Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez are taking on each other next week. They had a solid little back and forth between the two. Good stuff from everybody involved, all the people involved. So solid stuff to set up matches for next week. Looks like a pretty big show next week, just like this one. All right. Next thing on the show was the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship Street Fight. Yeah, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus The Way. Now, interesting, before this, you had Candice LeRae blocking Dexter Lumis in the locker room, right? And he drew her a picture. She hid it from Indy, was hiding, blocking Dexter from seeing Indy and all that stuff before the match started. So, the match itself was tremendous. I mean, these 4 superstars, threw everything against the wall. Yeah. Big spots. The big senton from the outside on top of Candice LeRae from Shotzi on the ladder was savage. The big splash from that scaffolding from Shotzi on Indy through the table.
Think about this.
On a suicide mission.
Was nuts. Then you had Indy doing the springboard elbow from inside the ring out onto Ember through the table.
Back into this match.
They had the spot at the end with the brass knuckles, and we have new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
Center of the ring.
This is it.
Blackheart could be out. The Way achieves their destiny.
The Way, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae win these tag team titles. I was kind of sad to see it go. I mean, I think The Way, it's cool. I just wanted them to have more of a run with these tag titles, but one hell of a match to swap the titles in. I give them that. It was a tremendous match. If you're going to swap the titles, this is a good ass match to do it in. I get it. And, I thought it was just really good stuff. I mean, we'll see what happens going forward to get a rematch. I don't think they'll swap the titles back, but I think, probably Ray and Indy kind of needed this anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of, I don't want to say floundering, but they weren't that exciting in the way. But this match was amazing. All these girls did such an amazing job. It just got you thinking, at least I was just watching the match. I was like, man, how much better is the NXT women's tag team division than the main roster? It's just I know we keep saying it every week, but wow, these belts have been around for maybe 2 months now, month and a half, and it's already so much more exciting than watching the same damn Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax versus Team Glow. We just don't want to see it anymore, but that happens every week. Or we see her versus Natalya and Tamina at WrestleMania, and it's no one cares. This match, we got behind it. It was great. It was amazing. Those matches, and it elevated those tag team titles and make it even more special. So it's just kudos again. NXT just does it right. Triple H and their crew on there, they rarely strike out or they rarely miss a pitch. They just make it happen. So definitely kudos. It was an awesome match. I'm excited for The Way now. Let's go The Way. Who knows? They could have all the titles soon. Because Gargano could be NXT champion plus North American champion. Think about the craziness that would be. Pretty awesome.
It'd be nuts. But stuff like this is puts the main roster on notice. They got to start performing. They got to start putting these matches together. And obviously, it puts the pressure on creative more than it does the wrestlers themselves. I think the wrestlers doing a solid job. It's just the creative they're giving is pretty bad. So
yeah, like the in-ring work is never the problem on the main roster. Yeah. They have the pay-per-views. They have awesome matches. There's great matches all the time. It's just like
the storylines, the way everything's built up.
The promos, the things are built up. Everything feels like they're just like I say, it's like stopgap pay-per-views. We're just kind of waiting to get to the pay-per-view, and like we're just gonna put little things in the way. None of it feels creative or fun or anything you want to get behind. NXT, it's always something interesting going on.
Yeah. So another solid episode from NXT. They have a good run of solid episodes ever since going into Tuesday nights. But guys, that's a review. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to drop a like on this video. Helps out the YouTube algorithm. Hit the chair in the corner for it hits you first. Sub to the channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys on the next one tomorrow night, our Wednesday night Dynamite review after the show. Stay tuned for that one as well. Come back with the news and rumors again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Stay tuned for that. Also got something special coming in the works, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. Stay tuned for that video coming out. And if it doesn't work for you, that's the job.
Later, Marks.